Today we're going to do part 2 of your post-C-section rehab program. Come onto this stage as soon as you've completed step 1 and you feel like you've grown your strength in that part first. We feel stronger and grow stronger not just by the passing of time but by completing the challenges. No matter when you start, always start at step 1 before moving on to this step 2. You're going to need your Pilates ball or cushion from step 1 and we're going to start in lying. So be conscious of how you transfer into your positions. And you want to lie on a mat, on the floor if you can, so it's a firm surface. And the ball's going to go between your knees. We're going to start with 100, so this is progression of your first challenge. You first need to squeeze the ball. You need to find that pelvic floor elevator, sliding the door shut across the outlet to your pelvic floor. Then imagine pulling that elevator up and inside. Feel the low belly muscles pull taut. The upper belly stays relaxed. And then release, let that go. Unsqueeze the ball. Try that again. Now we're going to hold it for hundreds, and that's going to be 100 arm pats at our sides. You want to breathe in for 5 and out for 5. So if we start with the ball squeeze, the pelvic floor close, pull the elevator up and in, imagining that zipper on your lower tummy. Feel the tummy pull taut, and we start to beat the arms up and down. Small little rhythmical movements. Trying to breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5. In 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep it flowing. Try not to bounce on the floor. Try and make sure you're looking straight up to the ceiling with your shoulders relaxed. This is building your endurance. You've already activated your deep core in step 1. Now we build on that endurance here. You are halfway through. Maintain that squeeze. If you need to, reset your tummy, reset your pelvic floor, and keep beating at your arms like you're making ripples in a puddle at your side. Try not to bounce on the mat. Breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5. Last 10. And release. Okay, next challenge, we're going to step our feet hip width apart and we're going to try and do that a little bit quicker, more fluid, adding movement into it. So we're going to squeeze the ball, do up that low tummy and pelvic floor zipper as you breathe out and take your arms straight up and over your head. Breathe in, slowly undo that zipper and bring your arms all the way back down. Be mindful that this is a little stretch on your scar. Take your arms just to where you feel comfortable, where you start to feel that scar stretch a little, and then bring it back down. The most important part is that you can feel your pelvic floor and or your lower tummy drawing up and in, like you're pulling up a zipper on a pair of jeans each time. Don't forget to squeeze your ball. All right, so you've got the movement, you've got the foundations. Now I want you to think about the rest of your body. Can you press your big toe and your little toe and your heels down into the floor? So you're just starting to get a little bit of energy through the legs, you're grounding into the mat. Can you notice where the weight is across your pelvis and your lower back? You want to feel the weight evenly across your bottom, making sure that your lower back isn't pressed down into the floor. Neither is it arched up and creating a big cave behind you. Notice when your arms come up that your rib cage also wants to lift. Don't let that happen. That's where your tummy comes in. You are halfway through. Keep it going if you can. You want to try and keep your rib cage still, like you're gluing your ribs down onto the mat. Next, think about your shoulder blades and your upper back. You want to feel the floor underneath you, underneath both shoulder blades, and try and keep connected to the floor with your shoulder blades throughout the movement. And then your head and neck. Everybody slide the back of their head up the mat a tiny bit more to tuck your chin. One of the things we take for granted is the toll having a new baby takes on our posture and our upper backs and necks. So you're working on your posture here as well as healing from your C-section. You've got 2 more. One more. And release. Okay, staying with movement, we're going to take the ball out for this next one. We're going to go into a little bit of a shoulder bridge. So from here, again, using that pressure into the floor for your heels, your big toe, your little toe, you're going to ground through the mat. It's going to wake up through your back line. And then from here, you're going to tuck your tailbone underneath you, press your lower back into the mat, and start to lift your bottom up off of the floor. Peel your back up away from the ground until you're lifted up onto your shoulder blades. Looking straight up to the sky, glance down, and you might notice that straight line from your shoulders through your hips to your knees. Bring your gaze back up to the ceiling. And then roll back down one vertebra at a time through your upper back, your mid back, your lower back, and then tip your pelvis forwards. We're going to go again. So again, just take it with the movement that feels comfortable for you. The point of adding this one in here is to work the muscles down your back, down that posterior chain. We're spending a lot of time sitting down with our new one, and so we want to make sure that the back is as strong as the front of our body. Again, this is really important for your posture. And the taller you stand, the better you sit, the greater chance of healing around your tummy. See if you can press your arms down into the floor as well, so there's even greater work through your back line. And 4 more. And it's almost like this ripple effect going through your back, one vertebra at a time, lifting up. One vertebra at a time coming down. Last 2. Press down through your big toe still. So both feet, the whole of the both feet are grounded to the floor. 1 more. And release. Okay, now we're going to take it up into a more functional position. We're going to come into high kneeling. You'll need your ball. Be conscious again of changing your position, using your hands to help you, pressing up into kneeling. The ball is going to go between your knees, and the first thing that you want to do is push your hips forwards so that there is a straight line running from your knee, through your hip, through the shoulder, to the crown of your head. Finding that posture can be the first part of the rehab exercise, trying to come out of that rounded position, not protecting our scar, opening up our chest, which is taking its toll with all the carrying and feeding we've been doing. So bring your shoulders back, just squeeze the ball. Now from here we're going to do hundreds again. So we're going to squeeze the ball, squeeze our legs together, find that pelvic floor elevator, closing the doors, pulling the elevator up and in, and then beating our arms up and down at our sides. So it's that endurance of your core, trying not to bounce or sway. Trying to breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep it going. Trying not to bounce or sway. Reset your tummy zip and your pelvic floor whenever you need. Lengthen through the crown of your head, and imagine you're holding a tennis ball or an apple underneath your chin, and that's your head and neck posture. Don't forget to breathe, expanding your rib cage to the side as you go. Halfway through, small little movements at your side, like you're pushing through water, making sure the tummy stays still, trying your hardest not to bounce or sway. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last 10. And release, bring it down. Alright, so now we're going to add in a little bit more movement and a little bit more functional strength. So the ball squeeze, you're going to zip up your low tummy like you're putting on a pair of jeans. Breathe out, your arms come up by your ears. Breathe in, lower your arms down, release. And again, think about the pelvic floor this time, closing the doors on your pelvic floor, elevator, lifting the elevator up, lowering it down, opening the doors. Grow taller with every rep, squeeze the ball more, lift the pelvic floor a little bit more. Breathing out, rise up, in, come down. Out, up, in, lower. And your arms are like a seesaw. As your hands come up, your shoulders should come down. Keep focusing on that squeeze of your legs, the push of your hips forwards. Second half now. If I'm going too quick, take your time. You can maybe skip one, do one. Skip one, do one. We're often told to do fast pelvic floor contractions alongside endurance holds. So you can think of that fast twitch, that drawing up, that letting go, and involving that here, your pelvic floor coming on, coming off. Breathe out, last two. Breathe in. One more. Breathe in. Okay, next position, all fours. So coming onto your hands and knees, you can come into this 4-point position. It's quite common for us to start with a slight rounded spine or really sunk. So what I want you to do is think about lifting your breastbone, tucking your chin like you're holding an apple underneath there, and then give me a few pelvic tilts. And you want to rest with your tail a little bit out behind you, but your tummy lifted. So that's your neutral spine. From here, we're going to squeeze the ball and just start to draw up and in through your lower tummy. Think about that elevator coming up and on, and just hold it here as we count to 100. So we're not going to lift the arms just yet or beat them up and down at our sides. Through both my postnatal recoveries, it's been really surprising to me how just lifting an arm from this position feels so difficult and so challenging. So I want you to start to notice how your belly feels in this position. Glance down, maybe even put a mirror underneath you. As we're squeezing the ball and breathing for 5, out for 5, keeping the pelvic floor elevator lifted or that tummy zipper drawn up and in. You want to notice how your lower belly pulls up and in. The top stays relaxed, but it looks completely level. There's no twist or pull to one side or the other. And release. Then the very next part is seeing if we can start to raise our arm. It won't come yet, but it will come in part 3. But that's where we're going to go. Ball squeeze. Zip up through your legs. Zip up through the pelvic floor. Hold it and just rise up onto the fingers on your left hand. Hand flat. Change. Hand flat. And change. Glance down again. Make sure you're not twisting from side to side. There's no torsion in your belly, and you can hold your posture. This is the biggest challenge yet. And remember, this rehabilitation is about activation through your tummy, resetting your posture, and finding the foundations to your strength. Last 2. And 1. Sitting your bottom back down onto your heels. Shoulder roll, lengthen through your spine.